Thank you. Good morning. Shalom. Chaverim v'chaverot means friends, and you are real friends. I have to give you a few personal words first. I would like to thank my dear friend Jody that 3 years ago, probably somebody guided her, and she found me on our website, the website of our organization, Gamla Shall Not Fall Again. And since then, we have such strong ties. 2 years ago, I visited the conference in Fort Worth, Dallas, and since then, we are brothers in blood. And God bless you, Jody. Now, being here with you in this remarkable conference is really touching. Facing a world that is so hostile, and on the other hand, seeing such good people and such a remarkable conference. And you, Sherlock, please come over here. I want to give you something. We, in the Jewish tradition, we say that when you see something so nice, even if you have a friend, sometimes you can suffer from an evil eye. It is not only from bad people. Also good people say, oh wow, look how nice it is, and this is an evil eye. So I want to give you an omen to keep you from an evil eye. This is a special omen with Kabbalic letters, and this will keep you and guide you. And may God give you a way and succeed in doing such more conferences and helping Israel. And the second thing, I'm like a magician, you know, every pocket I have something else. I'm giving you a cap of our organization, Gamla Shall Not Fall Again. When you'll come to Israel, to visit us, please wear it. Thank you. I would like to speak today about the struggle of the settlements and the settlers. But first, I will give you a few words of my own personal history, which in a nutshell can explain the resurrection and how Israel was born in the last 53 years after 2,000 years of yearning to a homeland and to Zion. I was born in a very remote country called Uzbekistan, which is an Asian republic of the USSR. How did I reach that place? My parents fled from the Holocaust. They fled from Poland. They found each other in Uzbekistan, and there I was born. Then we traveled to Poland back after the Second World War in '46. And at the age of 6, in 1950, I came to Israel with my parents, and we lived in a refugee camp because in those days we had waves of immigrants coming from Europe, from the burning ashes of the Holocaust. And so I was brought up, and then when I joined the army at the age of 18, I served in the Israeli army from the year 1962. I participated in the 6 Days War as a company commander, and I was in Jerusalem, as I said yesterday, helping to unite Jerusalem by dismantling bombs and mines. I participated in the Yom Kippur War in 1973. I was a bridging battalion commander under the command of Ariel Sharon, who crossed the Suez Canal on a bridge that my battalion, with blood of over 30 people killed, built the bridge, and on our back, those tanks succeeded to turn a war which started with a total surprise to Israel and almost a destruction into a victory. I continued my service in the army, and I fought also in the Lebanon War in 1982, and participated in many raids and many other wars. My body is covered with scars, and my heart bled with sorrow for people that were killed in those wars. Later on, in 1979, I was a deputy division commander, and I was driving around in the land of Benjamin, north of Jerusalem. I was driving alone in a jeep, and suddenly, on a small hill, I saw a flag, an Israeli flag, a small tent, a ruined bus, and I came up and saw in this bus 2 families living, and that was the beginning of a settlement called Givon HaChadasha, in which I live, which is the biblical Gibeon. And in this bus was sitting a Russian immigrant. He was a very prominent lawyer in Russia. His name was Zima. And he said, "Colonel, what are you just driving? Come, join us. Be part of us. Join our settlement." And I came back home, told my wife in Jerusalem, "Let's pack our things." We joined those people. And since then, we live in this settlement. And not only me, my eldest son, I have 7 children. My eldest son built his home also in this settlement. And in this settlement, I have 2 grandchildren already. So we are 3 generations already in a settlement. 3 generations that are part of the land of Israel. And we don't plan any other plans but to continue and to have those settlements and those cities and villages in Israel to continue flourish and be built with more and more people and children around. Now this was my short history. And in these days, and Sherlock showed you earlier, the map of Israel compared to the map of the Arab countries. He didn't tell you, he probably omitted, that that map is from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean. This is, even from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean, it is such a tiny land that everybody tries to cut it into parts. This is not all those borders that he showed are recognized by the world. The borders that were recognized by the world in the United Nations were borders that one of our prominent ministers, foreign ministers, Abba Ibn, said they were the boundaries of Auschwitz, the boundaries of a Holocaust concentration camp. The situation right now in Israel is that we are already 11 months. It is more than 330 days in a war of attrition. We are in a country that is suffering daily attacks by murderers sent by one man, an arch-murderer. Second to Hitler, you will not find somebody that murdered so many Jews and so much blood on his hand like Yasser Arafat. We sinned. In 1993, some people, I call them peace dreamers, thought that they can make peace with death, that they can find a partner to peace with a murderer. And they thought that if they will give back land and bring him to our land, the Jewish people will have peace. And don't forget one thing. Jewish people, they don't say hello. They say peace, shalom. In every prayer you find peace, so therefore it is so easy to convince people that if you will do something, you get peace. Hallucinations. It was an hallucination, it was a dream. But because of such a dream, a disastrous dream, and Eliakim will speak later after me, he will tell you that we have produced a video at the beginning of this process, and we called it Nightmare. But we called it in Hebrew, nightmare is called Chalom Balahot. We called it Shalom Balahot. Means this piece that you say is a nightmare. And we are not prophets, although my name is Moses, but we have foreseen the disaster because it was written on the wall. And since then, a state of terrorists started to be built in the heartland of Israel. We, with our hands, with support of countries that don't care much whether we will live or die, we brought on ourselves this plague. We imported this murderer with his gang from Tunisia. We allowed them to bring and to create an army, and right now they have over 60,000 people armed. This is only those that wear uniforms, and all others, thousands and thousands that are militias, and only one thing they have from the day they are born and from the milk, their mother's milk that you saw in the videos, is to kill a Jew. In the last months, you probably all know about all those massacres that were in Israel. A massacre of 22 children close to a club on a Friday night in Tel Aviv. 22 children. And the world expected us to restrain. Show me one country in the world that was asked to restrain. Don't take vengeance. Don't do nothing. Show me one country. When an American embassy was bombed in Nairobi, Kenya, the President Clinton said that he will find every terrorist wherever he is. Something like this, I'm quoting. And he sent Tomahawk missiles to Sudan and to Afghanistan to look for bin Laden. And in Sudan, he hit a factory, which was a pharmaceutical factory. So what did he say? Oops, mistake. Oops. When we fight against terrorists, they said, sometimes mistakes are done. And the word comes to Israel when 22 shattered, mutilated bodies of children are lying in the street and ask us, restrain. And when you restrain and when you don't retaliate, we had another massacre and another massacre, and the last massacre was in Jerusalem, in the center, in the heart of Jerusalem, on the main road of Jaffa and the junction of King George. Probably many of you passed that junction. Thousands of people are walking there. In a pizza outlet, families coming in vacation of school, and a bomb of a bomber explodes there, and they find their death. Among them was a family of immigrants from Holland. 5 people out of 8 of this family were buried the next day. Father, mother, and 3 children. And other 2 girls were wounded, and 2 boys, another boy, when he came to visit his sister, and she asked, "Why do you have your shirt torn?" He told her that they buried the parents. And the world is asking us, restrain. And this overheated boiler of this war of attrition that can lead into a full-scale regional war, you can hear suggestions about how to resolve the conflict, suggestions that we hear from politicians, from statesmen all over the world, even newspaper and very famous columnists. Each one of them has a suggestion. They have recommendations how we can solve the problem. But the only problem is that they are trying to square the circle. They are basing their suggestions on misconceptions, on things that are not real. The common solution that we hear everywhere is land for peace. The solution everybody sees always has the same general form. The Palestinian-Arab terror miraculously will cease. Israel will come to an agreement with them. A Palestinian state will be established in the land of Judea, Samaria, and Gaza. And Israel, my friends, will be required to build high fences and live in this self-imposed ghetto. This is the solution. This is the solution. Even today, even some Israelis are talking about fences, separation. It is like asking a man to be separated from his arm. Asking somebody to separate himself from his heart. Separation from what? From Judea, Samaria, the cradle of Jewish faith. You turn a stone, you find a coin. All the names in the Bible are in Judea and Samaria. Shiloh, Bethel, just name it. Now, this common misconception is based on patronizing approach to the problem, as if the Palestinians and the Israelis are children in a kindergarten, and those grown-ups, the nations, the newspaper men, they are the wise people, and they have a solution, and we, the kids, have to accept that solution. Now, they have never considered to ask the Arab and the Arab world whether they will be satisfied when they will get a Palestinian state in those territories that these people think that this will bring the solution. They didn't ask them. They think if the Palestinians hadn't had anything till now, they will be very happy if they will have a tiny state called Palestine built on part of the heartland of Israel. They don't listen to those people that Esther earlier showed the videos. The problem of Jerusalem, or what the Palestinians call also the right to return, two major problems, are shoved aside. These are minor problems. Those wise people that are patronizing us say, you just first give away. Then this problem of Jerusalem, we will solve it. This problem of the refugees that they claim they have 5 million or whatever to come over to the small state of Israel that has 6 million Jews hardly. This is a secondary problem. And they believe that the Arabs will accept it. Well, if you open Jeremiah 13:23, you can find this verse. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that accustomed evil. Can Arafat change his skin? Can he become suddenly from a terrorist and a murderer into a peace lover? Sherlock earlier quoted saying peace, peace, which sometimes you hear from Arafat, peace, peace. He doesn't mean peace, he does mean I will take you apart piece by piece. This is peace, peace. Only a week ago, a member of the Islamic Jihad, Ali Chatrin, said, he was interviewed to a French press agency, and he said, there was no Israel before 1948. You understand what he said? There was no Israel before 1948. She was created in 5 minutes. You know, in the United Nations, there was a vote, and in 5 minutes, an Israel was created. So therefore, how do the Jews have any right for Israel if they were created in 5 minutes, and before 1948, there was no Israel? This is a leader of the Islamic Jihad, and don't think that he should be called an extremist. And these are not words of an extremist or a marginal group. The existence of Israel is something that is not accepted also by those called moderate Arab countries. Some of our own people, and as I said earlier, we had sinned in the past. And some of our own people, like Shimon Peres, and some other friends of his, those peace dreamers, and the majority of liberals in the Western world, they are unable to understand why a year ago Yasser Arafat rejected Ehud Barak's generous offer for creation of a Palestinian state on 95% of Yesha. Yesha is Yehuda, Shomron, Ve'aza. Judea, Samaria, and Gaza. Why did he reject it? Why did he reject half of Jerusalem that was offered to him? It is because he wants it all. And even in these days, we have a foreign minister called Shimon Peres, the same Shimon Peres. Yeah, the shame Shimon Peres, that was good. Shame Shimon Peres. And I have to ask JR to calculate some gematria. And I'm telling you, my friends, that this man believes that he didn't make even one mistake in his life. Everybody made mistakes but him. And he said his answer to this question, why Arafat rejected this offer, his answer is, Arafat made a mistake. And if now we will offer it to him again, he may accept it. And I'm telling you, I'm afraid that he is right, that Arafat may accept the land that is offered to him. But he will not include even a clause saying that this will be the end of the conflict with the Jews. He will take that piece by piece by piece that he wants. And there was once a meeting of Arab countries when, after the Yom Kippur War, after 73, and they reached the conclusion that they cannot conquer Israel. And they said, we have to choose other ways. And this is part of those ways. This is what we call in the street the salami system. Cut it as a salami, piece by piece by piece, but you will not get peace. For the Arabs, the Jews will always remain occupiers. For the Arab countries, Israel is a knife in their back or a thorn in their neck. And therefore, patronizing them and saying that they will agree to such a solution, that those prominent statesmen in Germany and France and others say that they will accept it, this is simply patronizing the Arabs because they don't think that this is the solution. Their solution in their eyes is there's no Israel in the Middle East. There's no Israel in the Middle East. And they don't call us Israelis. This is very important to understand. I think you also saw it on the videos. They call us Jews. We call ourselves Israelis sometimes because some of our even friends, Jewish people, are maybe ashamed with their identity, so they created a new religion like Israelis. We are Israelis as a nation, but we are Jews by faith. And for the Arabs, there is no Israeli nation. There's only Jews. Second-class people, according to the Quran, like the Christians are second-class people according to the Quran. We have a privilege, Christians and Jews, because we are the people of the book. And therefore, we are a little bit better second class. Now that was the Arab side. And now if we look on Israel, I mean, when you are trying to put or to give a certain solution, you have to ask the parties whether they agree or whether it is conforming with their dreams or whatever. Just 2,000 years passed since we went to exile. And in those 2,000 years, when many big countries disappeared, we survived because we were dreaming and praying to God and to Zion. We survived burning by the Spaniards, exile from Spain in 1492. We survived pogroms by the Cossacks that were riding into the Polish villages and in Russia, rape, murder, looting Jews. We survived the biggest Holocaust Jewish nation had in the Second World War, when we lost 6 million people, burned to ashes. But we survived it by dreaming, a dream that one day we will go back to our country, to Zion. And in the early days of last century, in the 20th century, some people in the world said, well, the Jews deserve a state or a homeland. And there were all kinds of talks. What will be the boundaries? Of course, they didn't dream about boundaries of the Bible. But there were all kinds of boundaries. And then when the United Nations came, they gave us a tiny land. They gave us a tiny land. And in the same day that they gave us a tiny land, they did not think that they thought that we will be happy with this. And we were happy when we saw that tiny land that was given to Israel. And Ben-Gurion, our first prime minister after 2,000 years, said, in this land, now we have independence. But the Arab countries, they attacked the next morning. 5 wars up to today. Israel fought against all Arab countries. In those 5 wars, we fought and fought and fought and fought just to sit and live in a peaceful piece of land. And maybe some of the world community continues to patronize us by thinking that they really established Israel. That maybe they think that in those 5 minutes in the United Nations they established Israel, and therefore they can patronize us even today. Israel survives, and the Jewish nation survives in Israel, not because of the United Nations. Israel lives in the state, in the Holy Land, because of the covenant that God made with Abraham. We live in the state of Israel, although the surrounding Arab countries detest Israel and want to destroy her. They have failed thus far only because of the military might of the Jewish state and because the God of Israel is watching over it. And therefore, the logic of this situation dictates only one approach. One approach. The increase of military and economic might of Israel. The stronger Israel is, the fewer hopes her enemies will have to destroy her, unless they will be tempted to go to a full-fledged war against her. And with God's help, we will continue to be stronger, and we will have the might to fight whoever tries to destroy our land. And one other thing about Judea and Samaria, maybe some of you didn't pay attention to it. It is not only the cradle, it is not only the heart of Israel. I will just also give a few other, as a military man, points. This is the most strategical high land that overlooks the whole plains of Israel. And those that hold the mountains cover the land. And those that were thinking that without those mountains we can survive in these days when we are fighting this war of attrition, they understand the importance of those mountains. When I went to Netanyahu and I told him, don't do that agreement about giving away Hebron, and I was standing on the hill of Abu Snena, that my friend Eliakim yesterday were talking about it, we said from those hills they will hit Jews going to the cave of the patriarchs. I was answered, we have a strong army, we can take it over very fast and so forth. But I said, look, if the whole world is watching us and we don't have the courage sometimes, or we don't have the brain sometimes, so what is the benefit of having a strong army if you will not use it? And yesterday we heard that to prevent Arabs from shooting from that hill, Israeli forces finally, after 335 days, entered into Abu Snena and destroyed 2 houses, the White House and the Brown House. 2 houses from where snipers were killing Jewish children. The face of Shalhevet, a baby of 10 months old, I cannot forget that face, an angel face. We don't use such propagandas that you saw that the Arabs do. And I'm telling you, if Goebbels, the right-hand man of Hitler, the one that was responsible for the German propaganda machine, would have seen this propaganda, he would have admired them, using every segment of psychological warfare. And I insisted that on our website they will show not only the angel face of Shalhevet, I insisted they will show the blood coming out from the smashed head of a baby of 10 months old, to show the world, because when you see a picture, it is more than 1,000 words. And when you see a picture saying in the CNN, a 10 months old baby died. This is what they say, died. Maybe she died from a disease. They didn't show the smashed head of a baby that was smashed by a sniper that aimed through a telescope and he saw the target that he's aiming at. This is the enemy that we are fighting. And the media, the world media, that some of us call the fourth estate, the big power, that sometimes some people say maybe there are some conspiracies among them, they joined our enemies by showing a one-sided, biased picture. Judea and Samaria has in its land also 1/3 of our waters. And Israel suffers from a drought for already a few years. And those that visited Israel, and I had the honor to host some of you when they came in solidarity trips to Israel, they probably saw also the Sea of Galilee, the poor Sea of Galilee, the Sea of all the miracles, drying out. We have hardly drinking water. We have now to dry our lawns. There is not allowed to water gardens and public parks. And we have 1/3 of that water that we don't have, 1/3 of it is in the mountains of Judea and Samaria. So this is not only the blessed mountains, the strategical mountains, this is also the mountains that have our waters. So my friends, maybe later on, I will add some words about the gathering of the nations, because I have some ideas about this too, and I think that the nations are gathering on Israel, and I think that, God forbid, maybe this war maybe is at our doors, and Yasser Arafat definitely wants to drag in the Arab countries to fight against Israel, and maybe in a sixth war, maybe he will be able to eliminate and to kill all those Jews, those survivors that survived 2,000 years. Now, some of you can ask, what can you do? And you can do a lot. First, you should know what is going on exactly in Israel, the truth that is going on. And this you can find only in websites that are not governmental websites. It is like the website of our organization, www.gamla.org.il, and www.a7.com, which is a radio station in Judea and Samaria. Ask your friends that visited Israel. Get the truth, because truth is power. And once you have the truth in your hand, you can fight better for Israel. This is the first thing. The second, tell your friends about those things. Tell them you have friends around you. Some that maybe are listening to those columnists about those useless solutions that they are trying to impose on us. Tell them the truth. Talk to your senators, congressmen. Convince them. Tell them that you are a constituency and you want him to bring your word to the House. Gila, I will come to it. Call your president. You have a president that is a believer. Call him. Tell him. Don't give a hand or a support to those that want to cut Israel into pieces. If you are a believer, join Israel in its battle against those that want to divide Israel and to cut Israel to pieces. The next thing that you can do is, like a video can say more than 1,000 words. What the eye sees is more than 1,000,000 words. Come to Israel. Come on solidarity tours. Many of you came. Some of you sitting here came even to my settlement, and I showed them our best factory. We have a wonderful production in our settlement. You know what it is? We produce children. We have lots of children in our settlement, and we are proud of it. And when a solidarity tour comes to my settlement, I take them to 2 places. To one place that they can see the whole area, and the other place is to all those kindergartens. And they can see children playing when the sounds of tanks are around them. Kids are singing when bullets are flying over their heads. My own son, 13 years old kid, came back home. He plays soccer. He came one day home back with his friend. We have a carpool. My wife took them to training in Jerusalem, and the other mother brought them back. My son stepped down from the car, and when they turned, a car with murderers shot on this car and hit his friend with 3 bullets in his body. So our children and we hear those sounds every day. We are strong because we believe in our destiny. You can support Israel. You can support the settlement with whatever you can. Sherlock said earlier about helping the settlements with offerings. I just want to tell you a few things. some of the settlers in some of the settlements, we need bulletproof ambulances, because otherwise they can't reach a murdered man, or a wounded man, rather a wounded man, on a road. Now, we suffer very much from low budgets. So you can help with whatever you want. And the last thing that you can do is pray for Israel. Pray for Israel, and your prayers and our prayers will save our country from whoever tries to bring evil, disaster, and murder to the Holy Land of Israel. Thank you.